95.7 Ben FM. It is always a pleasure when people stop into the studio. I've had the pleasure of speaking to David Frei, expert analyst coming in for the Kennel Club of Philadelphia and the National Dog Show next weekend. But I think this is the first time you've been in studio.
It is. It's about time.
It is about time. It is lovely to meet you.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
We have John O'Hurley coming in next week, too. And everybody gets crazy because he's the voice of our radio.
That's great. Well, I look just as good as him on the radio. So.
Oh, I feel you, love. I have a face for radio as well. But here we are, and you have this rich history. We are huge dog lovers. We have a site totally dedicated to those fabulous pets.
Very nice.
Info. You can link to that right from ilikepetInfo.com. But I think people have this misconception that being a judge and an expert analyst, and you've been doing it for years for Westminster, and of course the National Dog Show as well, I think we think it's easier than it actually is.
Well, you know, the nice thing about judging dogs from outside the ring, which most of us do, is you can like whatever dog you like for whatever reason you like. You don't have to agree with the judge.
But it's so much more than that.
Well, it is, you know, dogs are really very personal. It's a personal thing. Why you like the breed you like or the dog you like. It doesn't have to be a purebred dog, but these dogs in our lives do great things for us. And if your dog does something special for you every day, which I believe all dogs do, then you can like whatever dog you want.
But David, when you're judging, what are some of the criteria that you're looking for? And how do you break it down? I mean, it's 150 different breeds.
It is. It's 190 different breeds and varieties.
What?
This year with 3 new breeds coming in this year. They'll be seen on national television for the first time ever on the National Dog Show, presented by Purina on Thanksgiving Day on NBC. And as a judge, when you're judging at the breed level, you're comparing each dog to the written standard, which is the ideal, the description of the ideal specimen of that breed. It tells you how big they should be, what color they should be, what kind of coat they should have, eye shape, a lot of things that don't necessarily relate to function. But most of those traits do relate to whatever it was bred to do originally, and that will help it perform its function best. So you have to compare that dog in front of you to that standard. It's tough sometimes in a breed judging where you're looking at 40 of the same breed to not compare one to another. But in theory, you should just be saying, how close does this one come to perfection?
But then personality factors in as well, I guess. It's got to a little bit.
It always does. You know, there are always dogs that make you smile.
Yeah.
But, you know, as a judge, you have to say, you know, that was a cute little trick, but you know, I don't like your tail set, or I don't, you know, you're not moving quite the way I'd like you to like. And, you know, who doesn't look at a dog and smile? I mean, it doesn't matter.
They're all beautiful.
I've had dogs for 40 years, and they all tilt their head at me and look at me funny when I'm speaking to them, and I still laugh about it.
The head cock is the cutest thing I think
it really
that they
is
do.
Amazing. And I never had a dog growing up.
You never did?
I never had a dog growing up. I moved in college. I was moving into my own house, and my girlfriend said, "Let's get a dog." I said, "Okay, what kind?" And she said, "How about an Afghan hound?" I said, "What's that?"
It's kind of random.
And we got an Afghan hound, and 3 weeks later, the girl left, and the dog stayed, and it was the right decision for all of us. And here I am today.
So that's how this whole thing got started?
It is, all because of Devona.
What? And how do you perfect this? We're going to talk about the new breeds coming in. Obviously, just hit up ilikepetInfo.com. We have all the ticket info on the National Dog Show presented by Purina, which is what I've used for my pets. The Kennel Club of Philadelphia. David Frei is my guest. We're going to get to all that information. But from there, you've got this Afghan hound. How do you master the craft of becoming a judge?
Well, I got involved with showing the dog. And that's how everybody really gets started judging, is that it was with their own breed. They get involved showing their own dog. They get involved with saying, walking away from the show ring on some days saying, I could have done a better job than that judge. How come they didn't like my dog?
That's what I mean. I think we all think we can do your job.
We all have the perfect dog, and we all know what the perfect dog is.
I think we all have even more that fantasy of running around the ring. I do. I want to take a dog and show it. I don't even know why I want to do it. Maybe Best in Show, the brilliant Christopher Guest movie. Yes. So many reasons. But do people say that to you?
All the time. You know, that movie was made 12 years ago, and people say, is it really like that? And, you know, we were a little bit apprehensive at first when the movie was coming out because we said, geez, what are they going to do to us? Well, they didn't make fun of the dogs. No. That's the first thing. Well, they didn't make fun of the sport. We're very protective of this great family sport that we have, but they did make fun of the people. And we admit to being a pretty target-rich environment. in terms of the people that we have. So to be the object of that kind of satire, we thought was kind of flattering,
Well,
actually.
quirky is fun, let's face it. I just would love to run around that ring. And
Well, let's get you involved. Now the AKC has activities for dogs that are not purebred dogs, specifically agility and some other performance sports that your dog can do without being a purebred dog, and that's great.
That's
we
awesome.
love all dogs. We want to, that's the National Dog Show presented by Purina and Westminster and other dog shows are a celebration of the dogs in our lives. We're out there doing something with the dog that we love, and it gives us an opportunity to have some time with them.
But how much work goes in to the training, to keeping the dog groomed, to all of these factors that play a part in a winning dog?
It's a lot of work. It's a lot more than the 2 minutes you see the person standing in front of the judge with their dog in the ring.
Right.
For a lot of people, it's a lifetime of involvement. We have second, third, fourth generation people in the ring whose families have been showing dogs and a particular breed for years, for a lot of years. So it's getting up in the morning and doing some road work for your dog if it's a breed that needs road work. It's all the grooming. It's hand plucking the coat of these terriers. It's doing all these things. It's training. It's socializing. It's making sure your dog is healthy and happy, which is the most important part of it. If your dog's not happy doing what they're doing, you're not going to be happy.
We see these pageant moms grooming their kids. I'm shocked that this is not a reality show yet. Dog groomers. I'm not even kidding you.
Well, there are some great events and adventures with the dog groomers and dogs being in fashion shows nowadays too.
Yeah, which is so fun. Now, what are the new breeds this year, sir?
3 new breeds, and we say new breeds, it seems like, well, new breeds, okay, they just appeared out of nowhere. Well, they didn't. A lot of these dogs have been around for hundreds of years. It's just finally that they've gotten enough of a following in this country that they're recognized by the American Kennel Club, which is the parent club of all of us, and now eligible for dog shows. So the 3 this year are the Portuguese Podengo Pequeno.
Wow, say that 10 times fast.
Which is a hound. It's a small dog. It's a rabbit hunting dog, still very active as a hunter in Portugal, but they, like all other breeds, may not get the chance to do what they were bred to do specifically anymore. We breed dogs more for companionship than for the task at hand. We don't have our Rottweilers driving cattle to market and things like that, but we like what that trait, what that job, how that's shaped their personality, and how that fits in with us and with our families. So that brings those dogs to us. So the Portuguese Podengo Pequeno is the first one in the hound group. In the working group, we have the Chinook, which is a sled pulling dog that really was developed in New Hampshire.
They're so beautiful.
That's it. They are the state dog of New Hampshire, in fact. But they're a working dog, a serious working dog, and they're big and they're strong, and they are still doing that job in New Hampshire and other places that have snow.
Cool.
Third one is the Rat Terrier.
I don't know what that looks like.
It's a terrier with erect ears, and it's a medium-sized solid terrier that really the rat part of it doesn't refer to how it looks, but rather what they were bred to do, and that's be a ratter on the farm. But they're fun dogs to be around too.
So these are the 3 new breeds. And of course, all the other dogs will be there showing off their stuff. There's a press conference at the Philadelphia Ronald McDonald House and a pretty big soiree happening Friday night before the dog show on the 15th. They benefit a great deal from what's happening with the National Dog Show. And in particular, they're bringing in the comfort dogs.
I'm actually volunteer with my dog as a therapy dog at the Ronald McDonald House in New York City. So I helped bring us together with the great people here at the Ronald McDonald House in Philadelphia, which was the very first Ronald McDonald House. Today there's 300 of them, but the very first Ronald McDonald House in the system.
We're very proud.
With my buddy Jimmy Murray, former general manager of the Eagles. The Eagles had a great hand in getting this house started back in the early 70s. We're there with their therapy dogs. We've had therapy dog ambassadors for the National Dog Show for the last few years, and we want to share this great activity with the world. Show what your dogs can do for people. My own charity, Angel on a Leash, helps put therapy dogs into healthcare facilities all over the country as well. And
Angel on a Leash, it's called. I spoke to Marion yesterday, and she told me all about Vivian. What an extraordinary story. You'll be able to hear that conversation. That's up at ilikepetInfo.com as well. So we'll have all 3 of you. Marion, we'll have David Frei, and of course, when John O'Hurley comes to town next week, we'll be talking to him. We also have that very special, I don't want to overwhelm people with so much information, but we do have that special red carpet event Friday night at the Ronald McDonald House, and you'll be at that as well.
I'll be there. We're looking forward to seeing everybody there to know about the great mission, not just of the therapy dogs, but of the Ronald McDonald House itself and the wonderful things that they do for children and the families.
I'll be there too. I'm really thrilled to be hanging out with you guys a little bit more this year. So thank you.
Marilyn.
David, before I let you go, what's the craziest thing that's ever happened with a dog running around?
Well, the funny thing is that we say to people, these are real dogs in the show ring. They're real dogs.
They're going to have to poop and pee.
Real people. That happens. It is a dog show, and it is about dogs, and that's one of the things that they will always do for any owner at the most inopportune moment, of course. So that happens, occasional accidents. But I think that the thing that's funniest is when you see them interacting with people, because you see them out in the ring and they look so serious. They seem so serious, and the owners seem so serious. And then all of a sudden they'll lay down and roll over, or they'll jump over the ring and go interact with some child up in the stands or something that makes it fun and reminds us that these are real dogs. They do steal food off our counters at home and shed on our clothes and maybe even drink out of a toilet once in a while. They're just like your dog at home.
But it's funny at the show, which you'll be able to see on Thanksgiving Day, when the camera pans to the dog doing the kind of normal activity, everybody's heart just goes, oh, because when they are so serious in the ring, but we're reminded, it's so sweet when we're reminded that they're, everyday dogs.
Well, they really are, and I think that's what makes the sport so much fun, is we get to do it with these dogs that we love and travel with them and go places, and
it's a cool gig.
With us. I got the greatest job in the world.
You do.
I really do.
Hasn't it been nice over the years to watch all the pet-friendly places now? Everything has changed.
Well, it absolutely. You see the hotel companies marketing to people with pets. You see a restaurant saying, come and sit on our sidewalk or our patio and bring your dog, and they acknowledge that dogs are a great part of our lives, and we're even seeing it now with it to do a little jump shift here with therapy dogs. That for years, anybody who has a dog knows that interacting with the dog makes you feel better.
Right.
Well, now the science is backing it up. The science is showing that, yes, when you interact with a dog, you're increasing the flow of the endorphins, the good hormones. Lowers your blood pressure, lowers your heart rate, lowers your respiratory rate. That's what makes these dogs so good in healthcare facilities. We're not going to heal people, but we're going to make them feel better, and maybe that will a little bit help the healing process. But it's not just for patients, it's for their families. It's for the staff at the hospitals. It's for the people that we meet on the street when we're on the way and get to tell the story to.
A great story to tell. I hope we'll see everyone out at Ronald McDonald House on the 15th. And then, of course, the dog show the rest of the weekend with 95.7 Ben FM. Details at iLikeBenFM.com. David, thank you so much.
You bet, Marilyn. Thanks for having us on, and thanks for your support of what we're doing.